Okay, hey guys. So this is the LordHenryDarling one, and I wanted to make this video. I know it's not Monday, but I had the really strong compulsion to make this video because I just wanted to explain some things to you, and I feel like it's easier to explain it in person than type it out. So, let me just get right into it. First of all, I am enthralled by all the passion and love that you seem to pour upon my muse, and I am just so grateful. I honestly feel like I don't deserve the praise that you've given me and Henry. And yes, I think of us as a team. I think of us as two separate entities, two separate beings. Like I feel like he's a he's the devil that lives in my head. I don't think of him as like a character or whatever. I think of him as a real person that lives in my brain. So, yes, Henry and I are very pleased, to say the least, with the love that you give us. Now, that being said, I'm hoping that the love is for the actual character more than the fact that his face is Tom Hiddleston, because, let's face it, Tom Hiddleston is a hot piece of ass and an amazing person. I mean, I think he's probably the most perfect human being that has ever existed. So, I'm hoping that your admiration is more for my character than his face, but I understand if your admiration is actually for his face. This being said, I've gotten plenty of asks and things that say that you are too afraid to roleplay with me, that you're very intimidated by my writing style, or, hopefully not my muse, because hopefully if you follow the devil, you kind of know what you're in for. But, you say that you're intimidated to play with me, and honestly, that makes me sad, because, as much as my devil is, wow, my muse is the devil. I'm a really nice person, and I hope that you would come to me with anything in or out of character that you might want to talk to. I'm very easy to talk to. You can just say, hey, Effie, I need to talk to you. I need a friend. I have no problem with helping you guys out or plotting. As much as I have, you know, an insane amount of threads right now. But I am always open to plot more. Always. I want to roleplay with everyone. Literally, I want to play with everyone. I don't think myself better than anyone. I don't think that, your writing is less than mine. I appreciate everyone's creativity, and I really want to stretch my wings and play with everyone. Now, that being said, because Lord Henry is, let's face it, a character that's not known by everyone, because he's a character from a very classic novel from the fin de siècle Victorian era, I want to take some time to explain out loud sort of the reasons why I play Lord Henry as the devil instead of instead of a man or anything else. I've answered this question in asks a lot, but I still keep getting it, especially when I get new followers, because they just want some clarification. But it's sort of getting a little bit tedious to explain over and over. So I'm hoping that I'll explain it out loud and it'll make more sense to people, and they'll spread this video around or whatever, and I won't have to explain it all the time. But I don't really mind explaining it. First of all, his name, Lord Henry. His whole name is Lord Henry Wotton. But Lord Henry, in Old English lore, is a pseudonym for the devil. So when Oscar Wilde wrote this story, he would have known that Lord Henry was another name for the devil. So, he didn't just pick that out of a hat. In the novel, sometimes they call Lord Henry Harry. I don't. A lot of the time when I roleplay, I don't know, I just like Henry better. But they call him Harry in the novel, and Old Harry is also a name for the devil, or Lord Harry. So there's that. The second reason that I think that Lord Henry is the devil and not just, you know, a symbolism of evil or a demon or a messenger is when Dorian says that he would rather sell his soul than lose his beauty. Lord Henry is present when he makes this claim, and Lord Henry's like, "Are you sure you would? Really?" And then a few days later, or a few weeks or whatever, Dorian notices the changes in the portrait. So I don't think that it's any coincidence that Lord Henry was there when he had made the claim, and then it was when he was there that the change took place in Dorian's sort of soul, so to speak. Another reason I would say that Lord Henry is the devil is, excuse me, I'm losing my train of thought, is, just the fact that every time that Dorian seems to be thinking or rethinking his choices, going to maybe reconcile for the things that he's done wrong, Lord Henry is sort of the one that's like, "Oh, don't worry about it," and he's kind of always leading him exactly in the wrong direction. And Dorian sort of eats it up. Dorian, I think, is a very naive character, and Lord Henry is always his weakness. Um, you know, he'll think about saying something sorry for something horrible that he does, but then when Lord Henry sort of says, "Oh no, it's fine," he's like, "Oh, okay." And I think that that's very reminiscent of the devil's lure, that he can make us all feel comfortable in the things that we've done wrong and not feel guilty about them and not want to make amends. Also, the fact that at the end of the novel, Lord Henry sort of disappears. I think that that's very reminiscent, again, of the lore of the devil. The fact that I think that he realized he had corrupted Dorian to the utmost, and he couldn't corrupt him any more than he already had. And so I think the figure of the devil would go off to the next unsuspecting innocent soul. So, there are a few of you that were confused about how I had gotten the notion that Lord Henry is the actual devil, and there are just a few. I'm not the only one who holds this opinion. I'm actually one of many who happen to be literary scholars that have pondered this question, so it's just my personal take and it doesn't have to be yours, but for the sake of my blog, I would like you to honor my choice and accept my muse as the devil, because he will not accept anything less, because, he's a prick, and he's an egomaniac, and yeah, his word is law. And there's one more reason why I would like to explain I think Lord Henry is the devil. Lord Henry and Basil are friends, and unlike Lord Henry, who I think is the devil, I think Basil is not God, but I think Basil is an angel or a messenger of God, because he's always sort of giving Dorian positive advice. But given the lore that the devil used to be an angel named Lucifer, I feel like the fact that Basil has this unlikely friendship with Lord Henry sort of could allude to the friendship of another angel towards Lucifer, even though he's the damned angel. I think there would still be a friendship. So yeah, there are my reasons. As I said earlier, it hurts my feelings sometimes when people say that they're intimidated by my writing and too afraid to roleplay with me. But I want to apologize because my writing is very much influenced, most likely, by what I read. And what I read is classic British literature. I've read, lots of Jane Austen, you know, Frankenstein, Dracula, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, The Island of Dr. Moreau, The Invisible Man, obviously The Picture of Dorian Gray, let's see, any Shakespeare, I'm all in. Shakespeare is amazing. And one of my favorite things that Shakespeare said is, haha, Henry likes this. Hell is empty and all the devils are here. That's definitely one of my favorite things. Let's see. A Clockwork Orange is one of my favorites. But the thing that a lot of these classic literature figure or novels have in common is that they have a very sophisticated style, and you know, it's very old-fashioned. And so I think a lot of what I write is you know, I get kind of it rubs off on what I like to read. But I do have a method to my madness. See, I roleplay a lot of other characters that aren't as uptight as Henry, and so I try to write them a lot more relaxed. Like, a lot more relaxed in my vocabulary and things. But the reason that I sort of take free rein and write Henry in a very eloquent and very aristocratic manner is the time period that he's in. He's a high society, you know, man. He's well about town, so he's very educated. He's very beloved. He's you know, all into the gossip circles, and I just feel like it would be doing him a disservice not to write him as a very well-spoken, very powerful figure. So, you know, if he uses any vocabulary that confuses you, I am so sorry and I apologize. I don't mean to intimidate you at all. Even when he uses profanity or obscene words, I try to make it in a way that's still very sophisticated. So, you know, you'll never just see him flat out say, what the fuck? You know, he doesn't do that. If he's very angry, you will know it. And I do use profanity, but I do try to use it in a very tasteful manner, and hopefully you think I succeed. Another thing is, never ever be afraid to plot very darkly with me, because as much as I love to smut, because I do, you know, I think everybody thinks that it's interesting and fun. You know, a lot of my followers seem to really like that dynamic with Henry, and you know, he's the devil, so lust, that's totally fine. But I really, really love when I can get into a thread and explore some darker themes, like with Miss Moira O'Hara. The one's name is Nikki, and she's awesome, and I consider her one of my best friends. You know, she's definitely not afraid to explore the darker tones. You know, she's letting Lord Henry basically in one thread where I play with her as an older Moira, if you're familiar with American Horror Story. By older, I mean like the 20-year-old version. She's letting him pretty much rape her, implant her with the devil's spawn, so it's going to be a very dark thread. I do tag the triggers with TW colon and then whatever, so if you have any triggers that are like blood, gore, offensive language, offensive in general, I have offensive, let's see, I'm pretty sure that there's more. Oh, domination. I think I may have put trigger warning spanking. I don't know. There's plenty of triggers that I put TW and then colon whatever the word is. So if you want to use Tumblr Saver or whatever, that's your best friend. I don't use read more tags because I feel like the devil would not hide the bad things that he does. So if you are sensitive to any of these themes, please, 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 you know, use your judgment. I've tried to warn you now. Also, in another thread with Miss Moira O'Hara, we are going to be exploring a Lolita theme, which, if you know what that word means, or if you don't know, it's a sexually mature young girl, and by young I mean underage, like young teenager. And so Henry is going to be seducing, abusing, using a girl that is between the ages of 14 and 16. So if the ideas of a older person with a minor person weirds you out or makes you uncomfortable, I've made a specific tag just for that thread, and it's called Henry's Lolita. So if you would like to use Tumblr Savior and block that kind of thing, if it makes you uncomfortable, you can use that tag. If there's anything ever else that I post and makes you uncomfortable, I will go ahead and make a trigger warning for it. You just need to tell me what it is. But being the devil's, you know, being the devil, this character explores a lot of those darker themes, and I enjoy that. So, you know, if you're sensitive to a lot of that stuff and you're afraid of what you see, maybe you shouldn't follow the devil. I'm just saying. So there's that. Also, one final thing, guys. If I say like and like if I owe, I would really appreciate it if you would like if I owe. Because there are a lot of times when I know that I owe literally about 30 of you, and only like 5 of you like the post. Now, I will go down my blog most of the time and check and make sure of who I owe, but that's one of my pet peeves, guys. When I ask you that, I'm not asking from, just because. I'm asking for my mental, so I can keep track of you guys, so I can keep, get to all of you, because I have so many followers that I don't want to leave anyone out. And when I say like if I owe and only like 5 people like it, I'm kind of like, oh man, now I have to go look through it. And sometimes even the people that don't like if I owe then send me an inbox saying, you forgot me. And I'm just thinking, yeah, but you didn't like my post. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to say sometimes that overwhelms me a bit, because honestly, Henry gets a lot of love, and sometimes it can be overwhelming because I have a lot of threads. So, I'm really sorry about that. Oh, also, can I just say, just in case I don't remember if I already said this, can I just say how fucking amazing I think that it is that apparently I've inspired some of you guys to go read The Picture of Dorian Gray? That makes me feel so good. That makes me feel so happy that apparently you think I've written this character to justice so well that you're so interested to go and read the novel yourself. So, I love the fact that I feel like this muse has really captured a lot of people's imagination, and it makes me feel like I'm a part of something very special, and I honestly appreciate every single ounce of the love that you've given me. And, don't ever think that I take it for granted or that I don't appreciate you, because, I love you all. Also, a shout out to Gross English Titty Vampire for that awesome, awesome, awesome picture of Henry. You said, I'm sorry it doesn't look like him, and I'm like, what? That was amazing. Like, now my muse has some fan art of him. That makes me happy. If any of you guys ever want to do anything like that, never be afraid. I mean, the Anyamon, my friend Brie, she's writing a one-shot about Anya and Henry. I'm like ecstatic that my muse seems to have inspired you guys on such a level that you want to create things with my muse in them. That makes me so happy. And I just don't want you guys to ever think that I don't appreciate you or that I don't want to roleplay with you, because literally, if I follow you, or even if I don't follow you, I fucking want to RP with you. And I would hope that you would speak up and just say, hey, Effie, I would really like to RP, because believe me, I really will never say no. The only thing that I won't do is make Henry in love with your muse. I don't think that the devil is capable of pure love, of actual love, but other than that, I would love to, so just let me know. And now my brother's coming home, so I'm gonna go now. Arr! Shut up.
Wow.